Is this in the email, Shannon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are now live.
Just to inform you, we are now live. And hello, good evening and welcome to Weymouth Town Council Planning and Licensing Committee meeting today. We'll move straight in with item 1, which is apologies for absence. Please, Shannon.
We've received apologies from Councillor James, Councillor Hamilton, and Councillor Norman.
So if I could have a proposal to accept those apologies. We have a proposal from Councillor Bell, seconded by Councillor Wakeling. All those in favour? And that's unanimous. Does any member have any declaration of interest on any of the items tonight? No, thank you very much. We have the minutes of the last meeting. And has anybody got anything they'd like to bring up on those minutes from the last meeting? No, if I could have a proposer and a seconder, will we accept those? Proposed by Councillor Bergman, seconded by Councillor Young. All those in favour? And that is unanimous. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We now come to item 4, which is public participation, and I am not aware of any myself. Have you?
No pre-notified.
Right. We now move on to item 5, which is planning applications for discussion. And with the committee's permission, I'd like we all received the email from Charmaine. We have an emergency application, and we also have the agent here. There, but would you like to say a few words?
If that's okay.
Yes, certainly.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Andrew Tregowan from St Sampson. Appreciate this is a little bit last minute. I think timing of the application submission and the next meeting didn't quite tally what the council were hoping for. So hopefully you've had a chance to have a look at the application documents. The short version is this is a full application for a single dwelling. We're proposing a 4-bed dwelling on the site with obviously parking, garaging and community space. The site is at the end of sort of Puddle Dock Lane. Hopefully you're aware of it. It's quite hard to describe it, behind the Puddle Docks, which is the plant conversions there. The site interestingly has B2 use. B2, if you're aware, is the commercial industrial use, so the smelly, dirty, noisy use is B2. Rather strange use for where it is, but that's the lawful use of the site. It has a number of small buildings and sheds and some sort of furnace on there as well. I believe the former owner used it as a sort of workshop or workspace. A bit of an eclectic mix of buildings on the site. As I said, we're proposing to replace that, redevelop the site with a single dwelling. We've submitted ecology reports, drainage strategy, and agricultural assessments, all of which raise no issues. As you probably imagine, the site is fairly low ecological value, but we would look to try and incorporate some enhancements. We'll be ripping up a lot of the hard standing, creating the gardens. There's an amended plan that we submitted a couple of hours ago at the request of the Dorset Natural Environment team. All it is just adding some further hedging around the rear and side of the slabs. So exactly the same, except more bushes and trees. And again, they seem fairly happy with those proposals. That's really it. Hopefully straightforward. If you've got any questions, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer. Obviously, we would love to support.
From because I'm the local town council for the ward, it does meet the Sutton Point local plan, yeah, and it is a brownfield site, yeah. I'm sure when you do it, are you going to build, put some solar panels on the roof?
I would have thought so. I'm no expert on it, but my understanding is that the latest round of building regulations have started to incorporate sustainable technologies like that more than perhaps planning. So yes, we would need to look to put in some sort of technology. I believe it's sort of 10-15% renewables.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have enough land for ground source heat pumps and things like that, because to run the pipes, you do need a bit of space around it. So solar would seem the obvious. I know the clients, the landowner and the client, the applicant is very keen to do something quite nice and a proper family home with.
Car charging?
From memory, that we would have to put that in. It's got a double garage at the side, so there's an obvious point just for a charger in there. I believe policy of Dorset is certainly pushing for charging point. We've got no objection to that. It is, given we've got the garage, it is just literally a catering there. So-
Yeah. Well, it's handy if it's, instead of retrofitting, if it's in at the beginning.
Absolutely, and obviously the way the government's pushing for, electric cars. Is going to become more prevalent. Absolutely.
Anybody else got any questions? Councillor Byrne.
No question, but just for the record, I've had no adverse comments at all for the application.
So I think it'll be a no comment, because we've been asked by Dorset Council not to embellish on no comment,
Okay.
haven't we? We just have a no comment or comments, not even a well done.
Yes.
We're happy with it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be we can move this into item 6. Yeah, so do we have to have a vote on it?
Item 6 is, the vote to move it into item 6.
Yeah.
The vote to move it into item 6.
6. So if we could, well, I'll propose that we move it into item 6. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Bell, all those in favour? Thank you, that's unanimous. That's it.
Easy. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I know what to football then.
Thank you very much.
If you do have any questions or anything in the meantime, then you've got my contact details.
Yeah.
So please. What is it?
Just so we can watch it as well.
No.
I do come to the chairman.
Thanks very much.
Carrying on with item 5, these are Holy Trinity Church, or is this all or ones that came in late?
So colleague put the agenda together, so these are the,
Chair, I did ask to discuss.
Yeah.
Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity? Yes, over to you, Luke.
Well, thank you. It's in my ward. I just have to say there's been persistent antisocial behaviour in this passageway. The canon asked me to walk my dog through there. Last 2 winters, I've made a point of walking the dog through there every evening just to try and discourage some of the things going on. He did want to steal a sandwich of a homeless person, but I should have held on to it later. But no, I support this. I think it's unfortunately it's just one of those little dark alcoves that attracts antisocial behaviour. So I'm happy to.
I know the police are keen on physical barriers, aren't they?
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
it used to be gated in the Second World War, I believe, maybe welded, cut off. But yeah, I think they need to get back.
Councillor
Yeah,
O'Reilly?
that's what I used to be my ward as a councillor as well, and it was always a source of trouble. So
Yeah.
it's time to take action.
Yeah, so would you like to move it into the item 6?
I'm happy to do that. I'm not a fan of doing what Dorset Council tell us to do, to be honest. I'm happy to embellish the comments, but
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
we can support it, can't we?
yeah, we used to put in that when the town council supports this application, as it will help.
Can I propose we support this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Seconded by councillor Bergman. All those in favour? And that's unanimous. Yeah. We come on to the Coldwell Shopping Centre. Hello, John.
That's probably late. It's my
Yeah.
patch. We did actually consider it a few months ago. It doesn't change substantially, but because they're asking, again, this is minor changes for it. Thought we'll at least just note it.
Yeah.
But I'm again in favour of no objection because the site is run down. It's never worked as a shopping centre and it needs to have a new purpose. So
Yeah.
I really welcome it being redeveloped. So I want to move it into no objection, but I think I want to just.
Yeah. So proposed by councillor O'Reilly, seconded by councillor Young. All those in favour? And that's unanimous into item 6. The following planning application received just prior to the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look through these? Because I would like to mention, with the committee's permission, Island Nurseries, Church Street, Weymouth, to form a new parking area of 40 spaces. If you've read through this, just go straight to the environmental report. Did you get that one up? Please. 04770. Yeah. The reason I'm bringing this one up, it's a new nursery, built a cafe, sounds lovely. But he's tried to alter the course of the Riverway. He's been told by the Environment Agency, what you're doing is wrong, don't do it. And it's as if I'll do what I want and not what you tell me. And if you carry on down, you should see it. I'll keep going because there's a lot of objections, a lot of support as well. Keep going. Yeah, the environment covering email. I think it's in that one. But it's in a flood. It's a serious risk of flooding there.
Yeah.
And the people in Church Street are really worried that it'll start, as the flooding comes down, it'll start going.
You had a look through the drainage plan.
No. The top, and they object to lots of reasons on this one. So I was hoping that we could support the environment, because not everybody's a fan of the Environment Agency. And on this occasion, I think they're right. I know the Riverway Society don't support it because they're worried about the impact that a 40 space car park will have.
You know what surface there? What surface 724 is?
It seems that you can't find out if it's porous or not, it needs to be, isn't it? Yeah.
The surface is the key thing here for me.
Within the,
Land drainage.
It's 16 pages. So again, let's stick with a chance.
And there's a major problem at the moment in Watery Lane where the sewerage comes up through the manholes. It can't cope. And the Wessex Water are doing surveys at the moment on it, and they're trying to. So Wessex Water won't say yes or no to a planning application now. No, it's not for us to decide.
They should have,
Yeah.
if they can't. There's a
I
capacity.
don't know why, but, and as they've been building extra houses, the sewerage comes and blows these manhole covers. So as you go down Watery Lane, all you get is toilet rolls and all sorts of stuff coming out. It's horrible. So,
I think for me, the key thing is if we've got the Environment Agency, the experts in this field, saying they object to the flood on flood risk grounds, got that going on in the local area already. And for me, that's another starter. We can't add to those already present flood
Yeah.
issues, can we?
no.
Do that good thing, so.
So I was going to say we agree with the Environmental Agency and object on the grounds that they're suggesting.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of a material planning reason. It's very difficult.
That's good enough.
Is that a flood zone 3B functional floodplain? That's the phrase.
Well, it's parking, so it's not, they're not building residential on it,
No.
but still, can we put something in about permeable surfaces and not making surface flooding worse?
Well, I tried that at top of Kingsby Road. I said all the roadway and the hard standing for the garages should be, and they didn't do it. So we've now got to have an extra drain put in to stop it flooding this poor old lady out in her bungalow now.
There is literally one paragraph just sums it up. It's
Yeah.
a flood risk vulnerable category on a flood zone 3B functional floodplain. It goes against national planning policy framework and against associated planning practice guidance.
That sounds like that against, doesn't it?
Sounds fairly thorough.
You see that?
Councillor Bell, which you refer?
Where it says objection 1, flood zone compatibility, the paragraph that begins, we object in principle.
Yeah.
All of that. That paragraph sums up.
So would you like that to be town council's objection?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't paste it.
So that's
Sounds good
proposed,
to me.
proposed by councillor Bell. I'll second it. All those in favour? And that is unanimous. You're up putting that on it?
That's 3 straight.
Would anybody else like to bring up any other from the emergency ones, or shall we now move the rest on block into item 6?
I'll propose we move.
Yeah, seconded by councillor O'Rell. We can move all the rest into item 6, no objection.
Was that unanimous?
Yeah. Unanimous, yeah?
Yeah, I just checking something with that actually, yeah.
We now come to item 6. Which is all of, just in case, has everybody had a chance to have a read through, in case there's any that people would like to. Because I've looked at the Wave Valley Farm, Watery Lane. The couple that farm the land there, they live in this mobile home. It's not very brilliant, so they want to erect an agricultural thing, and they've done an awful lot ecologically on their farm to enhance the natural habitat and everything, and they're doing it out of interest that. But if we could have a proposer and a seconder for item 6 to be no objections. We have a proposal for councillor O'Rell, seconded by councillor Wakeling. All those in favour? And that's unanimous.
What was that, sorry? Councillor?
Proposed by councillor O'Rell, seconded by councillor Wakeling, unanimous.
Well, then, if you- unless it's, anyway.
We now move on to item 7, which is tree-related planning applications. Would anybody like to talk on this item? No?
I'd like to propose our standard recommendations.
Yeah.
Second that.
Yeah. Is everybody happy with ours? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's proposed by councillor Wakeling, seconded by councillor Bergman. All those in favour? And that's unanimous. Did you get that? Yeah. Item 8. Planning applications responded to under delegated powers. We have none. Item 9, licensing, enforcement appeals and phone mass. There's an appeal by Weymouth Rugby Club. Has everybody had a quick look at this one?
I mean, we previously said no objection. We
Yeah.
have no reason to change that.
No, that's where we were going to come into. We previously said no objection. So we'll stick with our, do we have to reply or?
If there's no objection, we don't have to reply, if there's no objection, but we still need to vote that we're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
objecting.
So, sorry, but this is an appeal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it the fact that we raised no objection, but those council objected?
Yes.
This was quite a controversial one, last summer, I think it was, where there's a mobile catering unit being situated in the car park. And I know that our ward members, councillor Barrow, councillor Gray, did get quite a lot of communication from the residents. We submitted no objection in the end, but Dorset Council, and I think because it did have a lot of residents against it, that's why it's put for appeal.
When you say the mobile,
But it's not very
it's not the
well.
caddy shack you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah, it's not very well.
Oh, that's been there for a long time, that's it's a good job there. It's very popular.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a rugby club.
It is,
I
yeah.
support the rugby.
So we have a proposal that we go with our no objection,
Yeah.
seconded by councillor Young. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Item 10, we have a sitting out licence applications. And I know that Luke wishes to bring up one. So instead of doing it as any other business, we'll bring it into item 10, if that's all right, Luke.
So thank you. I did share this one around on emails, members. It's the Oldhams and the tea shop. So if you know that where the old town pump is. And it's the same thing was put in last year and they were not harmonious neighbours over this. And I didn't really get in the middle of it last year, but again, it looks like they're doing exactly the same application. If you're aware, the area by the tap pump is split into 3 areas. The Mexican place has 1, the tea shop has 1, and the pub has 1. So they have 3, each of them has a little bit of it. The issue is the tea shop only really opens till 5 or 6 in the evening, and the pub would like to be able to use them area when they're closed. Personally, I think if they can, you'd think a gentleman's agreement, they could just to and fro it a bit, and it would make sense, because then we're a tourist area, people want to come and have a nice evening or a glass of wine by the harbour side, why not? I did try and check with the tea room today, they weren't open. They do have a notice in their window for their application, which I note they have from 10 AM to 8 PM granted. The pub are now asking from 7 PM, so there is a 1 hour overlap in the times they're asking for this area. It's exciting. Well, I mean, I'm kind of with a use it or lose it opinion on it. If they're not going to use it till 8 PM, then you might as well let somebody else have the space. I don't know how we put that into a comment to planning. Yeah, to me, if the tea shop were using it, I'd say that's fine, and they sort of inherited the right to do so, because they've never used it in the evenings. As far as I'm concerned, it'd be nice to allow the pub customers to use that area. And make the most use of the available space.
Because the tea rooms put all their tables and chairs away.
They take them in.
Yeah, they
I
get
guess the pub would have to find some more, but that's their problem.
Yeah.
Or they could maybe do an agreement to share some, I don't know, but.
Yeah. But how do we put this into words?
Yes.
We support the application. But if the 3 parties could get together so that the maximum usage of the space could be allowed, I don't know where we go with that. I mean, this is a problem for Dorset licensing.
Highways, it's an unusual, I'm not aware of anywhere else in town where 2 businesses have the same sitting out space at different times. I don't see a problem with it really in theory. Why shouldn't 2 businesses use the same space at different times? Probably for insurance, they might have to use their own chairs, but that's their problem. But yeah, it's obviously a bit unique in that regard that yes, it's the first time I think 2 different businesses have asked for the same space at different times. But in my gut, it's appropriate because of the tea rooms are shut. Why shouldn't the pub use them?
And there is also a need. I mean, it's very busy. They get people sat on the harbour wall.
Yeah.
It's a busy space, isn't it?
Anybody got anything that we could put up that we support the licensing application, and we would hope that the 3 parties could come to an agreement so that the maximum usage of the space could be achieved. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. So would we need to vote on it? So, yeah, so I'll propose it. Councillor Wakeling will second it. All those in favour? And that's unanimous. Right. We can now move on to item 11, which is other development, a certificate of lawfulness. Usually the 5 number. Does anybody wish to comment on this one?
Guess it'll be me again. This is in my ward as well. I'll put it back next door to the previous one. This is a very odd one. This house was converted a long time ago, but looking at the floor plan, some of the flats you would not approve if they came before us for approval. So it's been done a bit on the sly. I sought some advice from a friend who used to be a planning officer. Basically, the advice is it was been there more than 4 years. it's just not worth fighting over. So much as I'm not very happy with the layout, I don't think there's anything we can do about it. So I think the answer is we have no evidence to suggest that it wasn't done more recently than 4 years ago.
Do we need to? I've looked into the council or I wanted to.
I looked at it, came to more or less same conclusion, in fact that the council's been taking council tax off them for a long time on the basis of the number of flats. I think that we can really object to it, so no objection.
The thing I find odd is they're asking for permission for 5 self-contained flats. But there's another floor in this building, which is a family room for the owners, and then there's spare toilets that aren't within a self-contained flat. And I'm like, that ain't 5 self-contained flats. It's 5 flats or 5 semi-flats, plus a few other.
Sounds like a building of multi.
It's something, I mean, the agent's reply was they're going to seek permission to improve it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they haven't just gone straight to doing that instead of trying to get this interim authorization, but I think there's little we can do about it either way around.
What do we do? Is just put the.
Members asked whether they have evidence to submit. We have no evidence.
So is that what we just say, or do we need a vote on it?
We can experiment.
But quickly vote on it. All those in favour of no evidence. So that's proposed by councillor Wakeling, seconded by councillor Orell. All those in favour, unanimous. Okay. Then we come on to item 12. We have none. Item 13. We have none.
Sorry, there's none on the agenda, but just to make note, I did send it round that our previous application for Keep Clear at White Road
Vote. Yeah.
has been
Approved.
approved.
Yeah.
So it's going to be painted in the next 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just an awkward place to do it. They'll have to do it late at night.
It's going to be an early in the morning overnight. job.
Yeah. Because I mean, well, Portland Road must be the busiest road in town now. It's awful road.
Chair, on this item, there was another email about Bowley's Coveway, or was that confidential?
Confidential.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, yeah.
So we come now to item 13. There is none. Item 14. This is a response to Dorset Council Housing Strategy consultation. And
Introduce us, not.
you go? Yeah, go ahead.
So, an email was circulated, asking members for response to the housing consultation. We only received a handful of responses back, and based on those, town clerks produced this report, and the recommendations that we should submit back to Dorset Council.
Yeah. What, so Dorset Council haven't asked Weymouth Town Council for that?
Yeah, they have.
They have, yeah.
Obviously, they've asked us to,
Yeah.
and we need to collate that on behalf of the town council.
Right, yeah.
But not many of the members responded.
So are we having? Very good. Are we being asked to agree this response, you know?
Yes.
Okay, because I've got some issues with that.
Yeah. Well, raise them.
Well, lots of them, so.
Where would you like to start? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this is a point here because James collected these, isn't she?
Jane collated these?
Yeah, so we had, I think 4 members.
Not a very good sample size then, if it's only 4 members.
So on one hand, I don't agree with, you know, the things I don't agree with here, but on the other hand, I wasn't one of the 4 who responded. So whether I've got that right to say something, I don't know.
And that's what it's here to debate, so there's more of you in this room than there is that responded, so happy for you to debate it, because ultimately you're going to agree our submission.
I can say straight away, I was one of the ones that responded.
Good man.
We are recommending this to full council, though. We're not actually the submitter, so it will be debated here and in full council.
Yeah. But what we're being asked is to recommend it to full council.
This is on this first stage.
Yeah, and may I tee off then with some suggested amendments?
Yeah.
So we go. There's in the matrix of 1 to 5s, there's 4 lines I'd like to promote. The first 2 are the homes for accessible people and to help people live independently. That we've rated the bottom one. I feel that's a little bit harsh. I'd like to move them up to a 2 or 3. I think 1's very low there.
Well, no, what she's done is she's probably looked at them. she hasn't put them there herself, there's probably
Yeah.
nobody's responded in that vein.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
if we're going to vote on it, I'd like to amend that we give that a little bit more priority. And the other two are the bottom two, which are the second homes, the Airbnbs, which are the bane of my ward. I'd like to put them up to the maximum to level 5. I think they are
I was going to say that as well.
a real problem for all. So, yeah, and I think we can, well, I'm going to try to suggest amendments to the proposal, and they would be my 4 to move those 4 points up. So the 2 about accessibility and independent living, and the 2 about second homes and Airbnb.
Yeah, what two?
Which two?
The two that have got a what?
Yeah, but what do you want to move it to? 2, 3, 4 or 5?
I would say,
Can I just ask a practicality question? Is there any scope for this to go back out to members with,
It's going to full council, so that's the opportunity to
yeah,
debate it then.
it's just you'd fail a geography GCSE with a sample before,
Yeah.
you know.
there's more of us in the room now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ones about accessibility, if we make them a priority 3, please, the middle one.
So just to confirm, councillor Wakeling, it is more homes with accessible and or adapted, that one.
Yeah.
The support to help people live independently.
Yes, those 2. I'd like to move to priority 3. And then the bottom 2, which are the second homes and the Airbnbs, I'd like to make priority 5.
Because this is why I hate surveys like this, because I agree. They're always important.
Yeah,
Go ahead, John.
yeah. Can I agree with councillor Bell? We've still got time to give it another push,
Yeah.
because if we don't, we could risk having full council trying to, everyone wants to say something,
Yeah.
and it'll take an eternity. If everyone very clearly given them a steer to make their comment now,
Right.
before the next full council meeting, then we can
So,
have a decent sample size,
so get Charmaine to put an email out to everybody.
fill it in, otherwise we're gonna have an internal
Yeah.
full council meeting.
Yeah, because I misunderstood it. I thought that it was for the general public
Yeah,
and not for me.
yeah, and I went and did an individual reply rather
Yeah.
than councillor replies.
Yeah. That's the way I thought it.
Yes.
But I must have misunderstood it.
So the proposal from councillor Oliver is that we recirculate the questionnaire.
And ask all councillors, please, can you answer this?
Will that require people that have already submitted to do it again, or are they,
Yeah.
are they
No,
installed?
Those that have already done it, don't need to.
To target it.
I can make a suggestion. Perhaps, Chair, if you'd like to send an email out, because without being offensive, we get hundreds of emails from officers that we ignore. So perhaps if,
Oh, no,
if the chair of planning sent it to all members, it might get a better response.
I'm happy to draft it.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, well, we'll work together on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually. I agree with Luke about the last 2. We shouldn't let second homes, and Airbnb stuff, look, people getting habits. And the other thing I felt so strongly about was, third from the top, where we have young first-time buyers, that should be that should be of higher priority than it should have.
This is the problem with it. Yeah,
Yeah, we need a bit.
you could probably answer 5 to all of them.
Yeah,
Who wouldn't want more housing for
Well-
people with wheelchairs who are partially sighted, who have
I
terrible.
wouldn't answer back to all of them, actually. I wouldn't.
This is the thing, if we had a response, we can go with the average across the council, but at the moment, we've only handed back the responses.
So the energy, once energies, I would have put energy as a maximum.
Yeah.
But that's just a personal view.
No, this is why everybody's got their own view.
Exactly, yeah. So I think what John said, put it out again and encourage everybody to submit their views.
So that's where we're going to go with
So
this.
we've got a recommendation that we recirculate the questionnaire from the chair of the planning and licensing committee.
And anybody who doesn't reply, go through the disciplinary procedure with the chairman of this committee.
Just looking at this, I just concur with you, Jack. I mean, all of these are important. Very difficult
The
to make.
proposal is that we recirculate it.
Yeah.
We don't offer a recommendation to full council from this meeting. because there isn't enough sample size.
Yeah, but then, that's right, and then when we get to full council,
Council.
meeting, we can legitimately say, you've had your chance to
Chances.
say it, your views are registered.
Yeah.
And those that didn't register views shouldn't be trying to
Yeah.
alter it at the meeting, so we.
So that's the
We want to
proposal.
Avoid a big debate, otherwise it's gonna be like it has
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
between our people.
So that's the proposal. Do I have a second then? Councillor Bell, all those in favour? And that's unanimous. Because I looked through this several times and I thought, what if you get homelessness, people who are at risk of losing their home? I mean, nobody wants that. That's why we support the Lantern Trust. Anyway. Item 15, information item. Land west of Roman Road and North Spa, Weymouth. Non-material amendment to planning permission. Change of porches, roofs over 2 communal entrance doors on a block of flats. From pitch to flat to match approved entrance door. Anybody got anything on this one?
Do I need to declare that I actually am a resident?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's for information items.
And for information.
Anybody got anything they want to know? Okay, unfortunately, David's not feeling very well, so he's missing tonight's meeting, so we won't get a neighbourhood planning update. And because we put the planning and licensing, we have no emergency items, and we moved the other one up. So if everybody's happy,